Hello Stampers! I've got a nice card scene for you today, and this is definitely a good one for masculine card. You know, those are so hard to come up with, so I have one for you today, and I'm using the new Feathered Flight stamp set. Now this is one of the online exclusive stamp sets from Stampin' Up, and this is item number 162726. You can put that on any kind of order that you place with Stampin' Up, but you're not going to find it in the catalog. It's only shown online in the online stores. So I will leave a link to this down below this video. You just click show more and you'll see all the links to the products that I'm using along with all the dimensions for the card that I'm making today. So the main image is this one right here that I'm using today. And then I'm also going to team it up with the gorgeously made stamp set and die set. So here's the stamp set, gorgeously made. It has this great stamp that I'm using today in my project. And this is what you get. I have around here, and it almost looks like stitching. It's really great. So I'm using this stamp out of this gorgeously made stamp set, along with, has some really pretty dies that coordinate, and this, I'm using this die here for our foliage in the foreground. So we're going to get going on our main panel here. We're going to put our background in. And so I have a basic white panel here, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. And I'm going to take a couple post-it notes here. We're going to start by putting a post-it note, and I'm going to just put it here to where the post-it note is flush with the bottom of the cardstock and the left side. That's going to give us a nice line across here that's straight. And then we're going to do some work up here, and I'm going to start with boho blue. I want to get this light blue in here first. So I'm just taking a blending brush and the boho blue ink, and I'm going to make like a spot here. Now this is like a half a spot that's on the cardstock. You see it here. And you want to leave plenty of room around this spot. All right, so there we have that. And I'm going to take this off, and I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to cover up about 1 inch of this white area here with this post-it note. And I'm going to line it up against the left side. And I'm going to do that same thing. Now I have it upside down. I'm going to do that same thing. I'm going to put a blue spot in here with this boho blue. Now one side of our boho blue is our sky, and the other side is our water. So then we can take this off, and we're going to have this white spot in between this stripe here. So I'm going to take with this post-it note, and I'm going to put it back on, and I'm going to leave about 1/16 of an inch of that blue showing beneath this post-it note. I'm going to take one more post-it note here. Now these are the larger post-it notes. These are 3 by 5. They're a good size. I'm going to do that same thing, and I'm going to cover up almost all of that blue. I'm going to leave a little bit of that blue showing above that post-it note there. And now we're going to change colors. I'm going to put my boho blue away, and I'm going to bring in Pecan Pie. We're going to use a blending brush with this also. So I'm just taking the Pecan Pie here, and I'm going to start here in the middle. I'm going to add some of that color in there. Now, I'm not going all the way to the edge. I'm trying to concentrate it kind of in the middle where the blue would be too. And then I'm going to take this post-it notes off. And that's going to be like our ground in the background there. So we have that. And then we're going to surround the blue with this Pecan Pie. I'm going to put this all over the cardstock that's white. And I'm just going into the blue just a little bit. I don't want like a white area around that blue. So I am going into it just a little bit. I'm going to do the top and the bottom. I love that boho blue and this pecan pie together. It's really pretty. So there we go. We have that. Now that's our start. Now I'm going to go a little darker with our brown here. I'm going to put my pecan pie away. And I'm going to bring out copper clay. Now this has more of a little bit of more of an orangey tint to it. And it almost looks rusty. So I'm going to add this on the corners and down the side. And I'm making sure I'm not covering up all of that pecan pie color. These pretty colors together. Okay, there we go. So there is our copper clay on there. So I'm going to put this away. And I'm going to come out with some early espresso. And I have this stamp here. And this stamp comes out of Gorgeously Made, and it's that stamp right here. And I'm going to stamp this all over the edges with early espresso. I'll just stamp it across the top there. I'm going to stamp it down the sides. And you can overstamp this if you think that you don't have enough on there. That's fine. Okay, so there I have it all over the edges. Isn't that cute? And then I'm going to, done with that stamp, but now I need a blending brush for my early espresso. And I'm going to blend some of that early espresso over those little stamped marks down the sides here, just to give it that distressed look. So I'm really just putting some ink on the tip of this, because that's what you're using to put that color in on your, over that little stitch look there. Now there we go. And now this is our background, except I want to put some water lines in this blue down here to make it look like the duck is going to be flying over water. Now you can use a white gel pen and put some lines in here, but what I'm going to use is this Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and I'm just going to shake it up here in this bottle a little bit. Open it up, and then I have a tiny little paintbrush. This is a size 0, and so this is what I'm going to use to put my little lines in. And I'm just going to add a few lines, just going back and forth here, and I'm barely touching down. And I'm keeping it within that blue area. And that's just like little ripples in our water there. Okay, so there is that. Now, if you can take your finger and go over these, and it kind of lightens them a little bit and makes them kind of squishy looking. Okay, so just make sure you don't have all that white on your hands when you go to touch your project again. Okay, so now I'm going to just switch out my paper here real quick. So I have my background all done. And now I need my duck, right? So I have my big duck image here. Now these are good sized, and I like that because it's a really good main focal point. Now I'm going to stamp this with crumb cake ink because I really just want a light duck that I can put some great color on. So I'm just inking it up with that crumb cake, and then I'm going to give it a stamp just on a scrap piece of basic white here. Just give it a good stamping. See how it comes out. Now I can see all the feather detail and everything here, so I can put some color in. Now I'm going to take a dark, pretty peacock Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm going to color his head in. And I want to leave like a little space that's going to look like an eye here. So there is that. Then I'm going to add some of this down from its feathers on the one wing down its back to add some of that peacock there too. Now we're not done with this pretty peacock marker yet, because I'm going to let that dry a minute, and then I'm going to go back over it because I want that good and dark. Okay, so next I want to add some dark copper clay, and I'm going to use that for his chest area. And now he has a white line in between his pretty peacock and his chest area. We're going to leave that white. And I'm just going to kind of come over this and add that there. Okay, and then I want to add some, this is light smoky slate. So I'm going to add this on these feathers here. It's easier to turn him upside down and kind of draw along these feathers down those lines. I'm going to do that same thing here for this wing here. Really makes them look feathery. So there is that, and then I'm going to add some down here on his belly, the dark part of his belly here. I think he turns out just so pretty. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this pretty peacock one more time, over his head, around that eye. I just like those areas just really dark. Okay, and I'm just going to take a pair of paper snips. I'm going to cut him out. He's such a great image. So I'm just fussy cutting him here. And I'm going to get him all cut out, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've got my duck all cut out. And now I can adhere him to my panel here. And I'm going to kind of flatten him out just a little bit here, and that's how I'm going to glue him on. I've got his bottom of his body kind of down where the water is, just like that. I'm using multi-purpose glue for this, but you can use whatever adhesive you like for your duck. Let's see, right about like that. He's so great. Okay, and then we're going to start putting him on the card. Now I have a card base here. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's folded in half to create our quarter card. And inside I put a Pecan Pie panel that's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Then on the front, I'm going to use another Pecan Pie panel that's the same size. That's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Then I'm going to just add my main panel to that Pecan Pie panel. That's just going to give us a nice little trim around our main scene to make it pop. Put this on the front, just center it up here. I like it already. Now we have just a bit more to put on here. Now I used one of the dies out of the Gorgeously Made die set. So I'm using this die right here, and I cut it out of an early Espresso. And I cut 2 of those. So I'm just going to add these to the bottom of our card. I'm just going to add some of this multi-purpose glue here on some of these leaves and down the stem. Try not to put very much because I don't want it gushing out when I put it on. I just want just a hint of that glue on. It really sticks really well. And I'm not worried about going down all the way down the stem because it's not going to fit all on this card here. So I'm adding this to my card front. There's one. And then the other one, I'm going to come the other direction. Again, just adding a little bit of glue here. This is a really pretty die. I love how the leaves are open. And we're going to put it going this direction. We're going to go towards the left here. And we have it on. Now we have some of this that's sticking off the card. So I'm just going to flip this over. I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm just going to cut anything that's hanging over. Flush with that card. I have just a little piece here on the side. And look at that. All done. Doesn't that look great? So it's a great man card. You can do it for anything. A thank you, a thinking of you, get well, happy birthday. So it's just a good all occasion card for a male. I think any female would like this too. I love this rustic look. Anyhow, that is our card for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. It's very easy. Just take it step by step and you'll get through it just fine. Give me a comment below just to tell me how you like it. And be sure to subscribe and click that bell so you're notified when I put out new videos. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Toodles.